Food. The main staple food in Nigeria is a yam. Other main crops consist of cassava, maize, rice, sorghum, millet, beans, and legumes. Nigeria is the world's leading producer of cassava, yams, and taro root, while also being the second leading producer of sweet potatoes. Clearly, agriculture plays a large role in Nigeria's economic development. Agriculture accounts for around 36.5% of the creation of gross domestic production and employs nearly 45% of the country's workforce. Because of the diversity in climate, it allows for a broad range of crops to be grown. Then come diseases. Some of the common diseases in Nigeria include malaria, dengue fever, yellow fever, leptospirosis, schistosomiasis, meningococcal meningitis, Lassa fever, and rabies. The common diseases caused by mosquitoes are malaria, which is caused by the bite of a female Anopheles mosquito. Then parasites multiply in the liver, which then attack the host red blood cells. Dengue fever, which is mosquito-borne, with the sudden onset of fever and a severe headache. Yellow fever, again, is mosquito-borne, with the symptoms similar to influenza. Lastly, type of government. During colonial times, Nigeria's origins came from the British colonization. While the British were in charge, they set up administrative legal structures, but they kept the original chiefdoms. As a federal republic, Nigeria currently consists of 36 states with a president and a bicameral legislature. Along with the president, Nigeria has three distinct branches of government: the legislature, judiciary, and the executive.
Nigeria is one of the most educationally advanced countries in Africa. The present literacy rate is estimated at 72%. The first 6 years of primary education are mandatory in Nigeria. The rest are optional. Schooling is in the native language until the third year when English is introduced. Education is on the rise as several schools and universities are being created by the state. The British hold over Nigeria lasted from 1849 through 1960. The interest in this area was mainly strategic and economic. During 1861 through 1914, the British had a hold of Nigeria through indirect rule and local leaders. In 1960, the Nigerian declared independence. Although the British treated the Nigerians as outcasts, an identity crisis occurred after they became an independent nation. In 1967 through 1970, 1 million citizens died from famine and from fighting in the Biafran War, also called the Nigerian Civil War. After 2.5 years, forces agreed to a ceasefire with the Nigerian federal military government.
Nigeria is a country located in Africa that was colonized by the British. Resources in Nigeria were a big reason for the British to colonize there. The British colonized Nigeria in 1884, when Africa was divided by European powers at the Berlin Conference. Britain received Nigeria. A resourceful, plentiful land, Britain colonized Nigeria very easily. The reason being was because Britain had a strong military. The British took control over Nigeria with ease and slowly started to colonize the area. Tribes. Tribes have been around since day one in Nigeria. Tribes are what represent Nigerian as well as African culture throughout the nation. Some people think that tribes were only present back in the 1800s. That is not true. Many tribes are still around today. Almost 400 tribes are still active in the country of Nigeria. Different tribes have different sets of rituals and beliefs.